that Fred Meyer truck, how does he even get on the road? He had to go into the 2 other lanes here on this side to turn his truck. What if there were cars turning there? How would he get around there? That is wild. Of course, you never know you don't blame the truck, you never know who the driver is. I mean, who's driving the... Just because they got a truck driving license, it doesn't mean they know how to drive. You ever see those videos on the internet, those big, huge trucks crashing all the time? Yeah, it's not cheap anymore to go on vacation or live. I mean, if you're going to take a 1-week vacation, that's $900 in motels. That's only like $130 a night. And you're going to spend over $100 to $150 for gas. Then you're going to spend $400 for food on the road in a week for your family. That's conservative right there. And you haven't done anything yet. And every place you go, like mini golfs, you know, $15 per person. Or if you went bowling, it's gone up. If you go to a movie, it's doubled in price. And all the candy and the popcorn and the campgrounds have all gone up $10 a night or more. Or every place you go, like you go to see something like the lighthouse or whatever, you know, it's $15. You go to the Oregon Coast Aquarium, it's like $22 per person. And you go in there, and half the time, they got half the stuff closed down. You can't even look at it. I'm just saying. So if you take a week's vacation with your family, you're talking like you got to spend $3,000 for a week. I mean, the average middle-class person. How does that work? Well, it doesn't. That's the point. So that's why you see people in like their camper trailer and they go on vacation, but they sleep in the Safeway, Walmart, or Fred Meyer parking lot overnight in their trailer. They're not going to pay rent. They're not going to pay motel. They're not going to do it. And then they go in and they're going back to bologna sandwiches and white bread with some mayonnaise. That's what they're doing. Now, none of this surprises me. I grew up that way. I'm 63 years old. When my parents went on vacation, sometimes we would sleep in the car. That was a normal thing to do in the 1960s and 1970s. That was normal. You could get Motel 6 for like $14 back then, and my parents wouldn't spend the $14. Because they didn't have enough money. Yeah, 1960s, they thought $14 for a motel was outrageous. Oh man, how the world has, see right there, living in a Sprinter van. They're not going to spend money for a motel. They're going to sleep on the side of the street in front of your house. And there's nothing you can do about it. There's not a single thing you can do about it. Look at this line waiting for coffee here. This lady doesn't even see me here. She totally just stepped with those dogs right in front of me. I mean, people are in their own world. She's a nice lady, I'm sure. She didn't do it on purpose. She just... And here's a lady with dogs right in the middle of the road walking towards me. See, people just get in their own world. They don't even, you know, and they look at you like, why are you coming down the road? Because it's a road? And that's what you do? People who walk in the middle of the road or bicycle in the middle of the road, they look at you in a car like you have a huge problems. Well, I got some news for you. They didn't build the roads for people to walk in the middle of. They built the roads for the automobile. I know that seems really shocking to a lot of you people. Well, really, it's these morning people. I was talking about it the other day. If you've ever had a job where you have to be to work at 5 or 6 a.m. and you have to work with the public, it's this group of, and I'm talking about people my age, over 60 years old. They're, you know, they get up at 3 a.m. in their house and they're at the store 5 minutes after it opens. And they have a routine and they want everything to go perfect in their routine. Oh, you know who I'm talking about. I'm talking about people my age, over 60. And they have a list and they know exactly what to buy, and they do the same thing every week, and they walk their dog at 5:30 a.m. and they got their dogs and they got this routine, and they hate people and they avoid people and they don't want to talk to you, and they want to go home by 11:30 in the morning and lock the door and never come out until tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. There's a guy parked in the middle of the road here. It wasn't a guy, it was a young girl. She's parked in her boyfriend's truck, I'm sure. Try to get him to come out of the house or something. Or if you've ever been on vacation with like a person who's a morning person, it's the worst person. It's the worst kind of people to go on vacation with. Right here, see? Right there, living in, someone lives in that. Someone lives in that. Someone lives in that van, that camper. Someone lives in this van. There was a guy over there, I'm not making this up, with his pants down. He had his pants down. He was peeing in a plant potter. A big, huge pot on the ground with the plants in it. He was peeing in it because he couldn't get in the bathroom. Living in a van, living in a Sprinter, living in a Sprinter. I drove by, the bathroom was closed. He was peeing in the pot right next to the sidewalk. Hey, you gotta go, you gotta go. I mean, the guy should have a water bottle or something. Here comes another guy with his dogs in the middle of the road. I guess that's what happens in the morning. But I think people want too much in life. You want the $80,000 camper, but then you don't have any money left to live your life. So how's that going to work? It doesn't work. I saw a lady made a video. She bought a $50,000 motorhome for her and her son to live in because she got divorced. She got $50,000 from her 401k. She cashed it out and bought a $50,000 trailer and then went on the road to try to live. And they had zero money left. And then she had a problem with the motorhome and couldn't get it fixed, and she was stuck. Now that's just foolish decisions right there. She should have bought a $30,000 trailer or a motorhome and kept $20,000 in the bank until you went out and got reestablished. Look at that guy's homemade wooden camper. That's pretty cool right there. It's probably just a work truck, actually. I don't think it was a camper. You probably could camp in the back if it's a 6-foot bed. Unless you're over 6 foot tall. You're some kind of Sasquatch. Someone's sleeping in this car. Someone's sleeping in this little van. Nope, there was a guy in that middle car sleeping in it completely. Now, I don't care personally. Personally, I don't care. They got the whole lighthouse covered. They're working on the whole, they're going to redo the whole thing. I don't personally care one way or another. I mean, I'm more of a live and let live kind of person. You want to be homeless and walk around, go ahead. You want to live in a car, go ahead. I'm not against that, actually. But if you want other people to pay for it, then I am against it. If you want other people to pay for you to live in a car and pay for all your food and all your health care and all your everything in life while you just sit in a car, most Americans do not agree with that. No. Most Americans would not want you to reach into their paycheck and take their money so you can sit in a car. Here's someone sitting in this thing right here. They're living in it. It's got a smashed hood or something. And right next to them, that car, they must be together. They're living in a car. Now, if that's what you want to do, you got a license and auto insurance, and you can afford to support yourself, go for it. But if you're the kind of person that says, I need you, other people, to pay for me to do this, well, now there's a problem, and that is why our country is going bankrupt. That's why we're going to have $40 trillion in debt in a few years. Look at that Corvair. My dad used to own one of those. Like a 68 Corvair or whatever they are, 66, 67. It wasn't nice like that. We just had one that barely ran and you drive it around a little bit, but it never got restored or anything. Of course, this was back in the early 1980s, so the car wasn't that old to begin with back then. My dad picked it up for like $350. You can still get them fully restored for under 15 grand today. It's like a brand new car. It'd be cheaper than a brand new car, and it'd get better gas mileage. There's someone living in that van right there. It's got a bicycle on the top. So that's what I said in these videos today, 2 or 3 videos, that's what people are doing now. They don't want to get a job. They just want to sit around in their vehicle. That's all they want to do. They don't want a job. They want to sit in the vehicle and stay there and just be lazy. Now, like I said, I have no problem with that. As long as you're paying for it yourself. If you want somebody else to pay for it, then there's a problem. Right now, I got a crazy guy behind me tailgating me. Just driving past these cars. I think he's drunk, for real. That guy right there. There he goes. Look, he's going 45 miles an hour down here. Look at him take off. And he's got no tail light. I'm telling you, you know, the government likes to tell you now, oh, everything's better now because we have a new president. Everything's better and everything's cheaper and we're going to have lots of jobs. But I'm telling you, I tell the truth. There's a lot of people out there living on the streets. They don't want a job. There's a lot of people on welfare. They don't want a job. There's a lot of people. See this person here living in this broken down motorhome. Someone's living in this Sprinter pulling a trailer. So that's what I'm saying. There are millions and millions of Americans now who don't want a job. They're comfortable. They don't want to go do that. So what is Donald Trump offering? Jobs. Lots and lots of jobs. Must be some good fishing season right now because there's only 50% of the boats here. And that's something we kind of forgot in our country here. Is that there's tens of millions of Americans who don't want to work. And that's fine with me. But don't ask me or someone else or my mother or my parents or my grandma, you know, or 70-year-old ladies who are working. And you're 45 years old and you refuse to work and you want the government to pay for it. When the 75-year-old lady's still working and her taxes go to pay for your free stuff, that's not fair. That's not what America was originally intended to be.